Hey YouTube, Steven TheSalonGuy here. I hope you all are doing well. And in this video, I'm going to discuss a bunch of questions that I've seen over the last couple of months from you guys. Also things and videos that I've been seeing, from non-professional hair or hair YouTubers that are giving hair tips and advice that I find interesting, of course. And just a bunch of hair myths and hacks and all sorts of stuff that I think are going to be important that you guys want to know. So, the first one I want to talk about is shampooing your hair. So there's a lot of myths about, oh, don't wash your hair for, do it every 4 days, every 5 days, or the more you wash it, it's not good for your hair, blah, 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 blah. So my take as a professional and in my experience, having washed hundreds and hundreds of heads being in the salon throughout my career, probably thousands at this point, my best advice is, one, if your hair, it really depends on your hair type, your texture, how oily your scalp gets, and how dirty your hair gets. So if you're the type of person, whether you're male or female, your hair gets extremely dirty, meaning you sweat a lot, you're working a job where your hair is, it's going to get dirty easily, you're working outside, you're doing construction, whatever it is you're doing that's causing your hair to get dirty and oily and greasy, should you be washing it every single day? Yes. If your hair smells gross, if it's oily, if it needs cleansing, then cleanse your damn hair. Is it going to cause your hair to fall out? No. By washing your hair every single day, is it going to damage your hair? No. That's it. I mean, straight up. If you have color-treated hair, if you're a female or male even, but if you're female, should you wash your hair every single day? I don't think you should, because you want to prolong the life of your color. You definitely want to use a shampoo and conditioner that's color safe to help extend the life of your color. Look for something that has sunflower extracts in it, because that helps prevent it from fading from the sun. So washing your hair every couple days is good if your hair is a little more on the drier side, or if your scalp is a little more dry, because you want the natural oils from your scalp. That will actually help your scalp to promote healthier hair growth. So you want to make sure it's not getting super oily and greasy, but you want to cleanse it based off of how your hair and your scalp, react to day-to-day life. So another thing is conditioning your hair or rinsing your hair. Like, should you rinse out the products? Like I see this all the time. You put hair product in, you don't want to shampoo it, you want to just rinse it. I mean, that's fine, but it really depends on why you're doing that. Are you doing that because you think the product that's in your hair is going to hold better just by rinsing? Are you thinking you're going to be damaging your hair less if you shampoo it less? No. Again, base it off of how your hair feels. If your hair is completely normal, if it's doesn't get too oily, doesn't get dirty, then I say, yeah, it's fine to wash it every 2 to 3 days. I think also when I've noticed your hair grows a little bit faster when it's a little bit on the more naturally oily side. That's what I've seen. The hair seems to grow a little bit quicker. So that's it on shampooing and conditioning. The next thing is styling products. Let's talk about pre-stylers and things like that, or UV protectants and all these, all the things about hair products are always asked a million times. So a pre-styler, to me, I have an actual true pre-styling product called Pre-Style. That's why I named it. It's a gel that transforms into a mousse. It's only designed as a pre-styler. I hardly ever use styling products as pre-styling products, because that's really what they're designed for. In my opinion, as a professional, they're mostly finishing products. Can you use it as a pre-styling product? You can, but in my opinion, you want to use something that's a pure pre-styler that prepares your hair for styling. A finishing clay, a pomade, whatever, typically is not designed as a pre-styling product. I've used dozens and dozens of hair products, and I don't use them that way. That's why the products that I have were created and designed for specific use, and that's it. Next, let's talk about UV protectants. Oh my God, this is one of the biggest things that I see on the internet and on the YouTube community when it comes to hair and stuff like that. Basically, a heat protectant or UV protectant, is it something you need? Now, I would suggest yes. I've done a video in the past about, does heat damage your hair? So if you're misusing the actual tool, such as a blow dryer or a smoothing iron, if you're misusing it and not properly, using it for your hair, it's going to damage your hair. Meaning if you're going to hold a blow dryer to your hair for 20 minutes straight, you're going to singe it off, you're going to burn it, you're going to fry it. It comes down to how you're using the tool. Will a heat protectant help? Only so far, to be honest with you. It's heat. You're talking, hundreds of degrees. It can go up to 480 degrees. Some, smoothing irons, it's very hot. So it's going to burn right through that, to be honest with you. So does it help? Yes. There's a lot of pre-styling products that have heat protectant ingredients in them that are there. So it does help? Yes. So that's my take on heat protectants and things like that. Next, does blow drying your hair damage your hair? Another big one I get, you see it all the time. Again, go back and watch my video, does heat damage your hair? Yes, heat will damage your hair if you're not using the tool properly. If you're, holding the blow dryer on a section when you're blow drying it for too long, it could singe and dry your hair and damage it, yes, and cause it to be very brittle. If you're using a smoothing iron every day, just think about it. You're using a very, very hot tool on your hair every single day. Of course, it's going to damage it. So yes, heat can damage your hair if not used properly, but blow drying your hair every single day in a normal fashion, it shouldn't damage your hair at all. So don't be worried about that. Just make sure you're using your tools properly. The next one, how to style your hair or handle your hair with a widow's peak. A widow's peak is basically when you have your hairline and it comes down to a point right here and goes back. So it comes down like this, almost right into the middle here. It's not uncommon to see it. A lot of guys, even women, have it. My biggest suggestion is you want to leave that very front piece the longest. And if you leave it long enough, and I suggest having a hairstyle where it's at least probably 4 or 5 inches or so, because then you can slick it back, and you got to make sure that that front piece is the longest. Do not cut the hair in front where your widow's peak or that point is too short. If you cut it too short, then it's not going to go back, and it's not going to, you're not going to have that flow. You're not going to be able to work your hair properly. You need to have that piece as long as possible so that it can go back and travel back this way. Or even if you're cutting it short to where it's about 1.5 inches in length on the top of your head, that front piece in the very, very front still has to be long enough that you can style it. That's it. Next one is cowlicks. How to deal with a swirl or a cowlick, whether it's in the front, whether it's in the back, whether it's anywhere in your head. Remember, that's the way your hair grows, and it's growing in a circular pattern, which is causing the hair to spread out in different ways. That's what's making it split. No, it's not a bald spot. No, you're not some 15-year-old from India who's losing your hair. It's just basically the way your hair grows. And what you need to do is you need to comb the hair in the direction of how it grows. All right? If it's right in the front, you might have to do a side parting, or you might have to have the hair long enough where it swoops over and weighs down that swirl or cowlick. So if the hair is long enough, that's what weighs it down, and it's easier to manage it. If you cut it shorter, you might have to wear it in more of a messy state that it's not really swirling around, but it's more kind of sticking up and being more of a spiked or textured look. So it kind of adds to the style. You know what I mean? So you have to really kind of play around and work with it. So that's my take on that. Let's see what else. If you get your hairline shaved, a lot of times if you go to a barber, he might shave all your natural hair into the front here and create this straight boxed outline. That's cool for certain, a lot of, it's good for a specific type of clientele that want that. Just so you know, if you go to someone and you get your hairline shaved higher than it is, that's it. You're going to have to let it grow back. And it could take months. It could take 8-9 months, depending on how long your hair is, for it to grow back to that state. So before a barber goes in and actually shaves off your natural hairline or your widow's peak, make sure you tell them don't do that if you don't want it. Because once they shave it off, you're going to have to go back in for edge ups and clean ups and all sorts of stuff, shape ups, whatever. You don't want to be doing that if you don't need to. If you want more of a natural look, your natural hairline, Don't let them shave it off. I'm telling you, you're going to regret it. If you have a lot of hair and you do need to have it outlined to create more of an even shape, then you get it done. But leave it up to the professional to tell you. But a lot of times barbers, they just go in and they start shaving out off your hairline. Not always necessary, in my opinion. It is in some cases, it isn't in other cases. Let's see, what else? Styling tips for thin hair. Now, I've heard this recently a lot too, especially in some of my more recent videos. You can have thin hair, but a lot of it. That's basically, it depends on styling products. You want to have something, a haircut that's going to actually, create some fullness and some volume in your hair. So that's it. It's just like another hair type. If your hair is thick, you have to treat it a little bit differently. Sometimes you might have to get your hair thinned out a little bit. You might have to create some layers, remove some of the weight. A lot of that comes down to haircut. It comes down to products. It comes down to the actual techniques that are used to remove weight from your hair. Sometimes using a razor and just skimming off the top layer of your hair, which I've done in many of my videos. That helps reduce a lot of the bulk. So if your hair really is sticking out like this and just a lot, you need to carve out some of that excess bulk. That's done with a razor. I suggest doing that or having a professional hairstylist do that, or a barber who knows how to do that technique. That's pretty much it. Another one, your hair sticks straight out like this for men, especially Asian hair and stuff like that. So if you have hair that sticks straight out, you need to either cut it really, really short, almost like this, like skin, to where it doesn't stick out, where it's so short, or you need to leave it long enough where the hair will actually, the weight of it will make your hair lay flatter to your head. That's what you have to do. You have to get through that awkward stage of having it stick straight out, so you have hair long enough, probably might have to have it 2 or 3 inches long, so it weighs down on the sides, and you might have to wear a little bit more of a longer hairstyle throughout the sides and the top. That's it. Or you wear a very cropped, kind of shorter look, or something right in the middle, where it does stick out a little bit, but it's actually blended in and part of the style. So it really comes down to your stylist, to be honest with you. Last thing, I know I've been rambling on and on. I hope you find this, valuable, this information. The last thing is, what do I tell my barber? What do I tell my stylist? And I've made countless videos on this topic. And if you're a new subscriber, just go back to my channel and browse my videos. If you want a specific celebrity haircut or a high-profile person haircut or soccer player or sports player or whatever, singer, whatever it is, simply go on your phone, find or download photos of what you want, bring it into your stylist, bring it into your barber, and say, this is what I want. A lot of you guys ask me for measurements, for what do I tell my barber, how do I tell, and they probably hate you for telling them or showing them another one of my damn videos. So show them a photo. I can't control how they cut your hair. If they screw it up, it has nothing to do with me. That's on them, okay? If somebody does, here's the last one. If somebody does screw up your hair, a lot of times you have to grow it out. I hate to say it, you have to grow it out, or you go in and you find somebody who you think you can trust, look on their Instagram. Again, these are all things that I've done videos on. I'm just trying to kind of merge it all into one video. How to find the right stylist for you. Go back and watch that. I've done a video on that. Just make sure you look up their Instagram, make sure it's a good fit for you. If they have a YouTube channel, watch what kind of work they do and see if it's a good match and a good fit for what you're looking for. That's the best thing to do. If you have a bad haircut, you're gonna have to grow it out, or find somebody who actually, you have to pay a little more money for an expert to really, who knows what's doing, to patch it up. So I know there's probably 8 million other topics I can talk about, but this is what I came up with off the top of my head and thinking about some of the most recent responses I've seen. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the support. Thank you for everything. I'm trying to hang in there as best I can. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time for more videos with the Salon Guy.